Here's the next event. It's an event that creates the relationship between the fader level and the EQ of the channel. This is a vocal channel. The situation is I'm at a festival. The PA is quite on stage. I can see the PA from the front of the stage. I know that the PA can be a little bit hot around 8-10K with this vocal. And I just wanted to set up an EQ that means if I push the fader really hard just to get the last little bit out of the channel, I'll just dip around about 8K around about the hot zone. So as I push the fader up, what you'll see, the EQ just dips around 8K. And as I pull it back down again, it'll flatten it out. Okay, one more time. Just to guard against any little squeaks that I might have at the top end, as I push the fader really hard, it'll just dip the EQ, and then I'm going to pull it back down again, flattens it off, and I'm back in the safe zone. Okay, let's have a look at how we made that event. Okay, so I just showed you an event where I pushed up the fader, we pulled down, and the EQ dipped. As I pushed up the fader, I pulled it back down, and it flattened out. So how do I make these events? It's actually two events. So the first one is 3D top cut. I've called it for my own reference. And the second one, 3D cut return. I'll show you how to program that right now. So 3D top cut. The trigger is fader above +3, because that's when I know it's going to get really hot and I just want to dip the EQ down a little bit. And the action is specific to the same channel. Change 3D, channel 48, the EQ high gain by -3.6. with a 1 second linear crossfade. So I'm going to show you where to find this trigger in action. Okay, first I'll delete the trigger. So it's an above trigger. It's control continuous above. It's not any channel, it's a specific channel, and no, it's channel 48. There it is, and the trigger was +3. Just going to type in 3, and that will give me my trigger. Here's my action. I'll delete that one and I'll show you where to find it. So it's a control continuous. It's not a trigger strip one, it's a specific strip. It's 3D's strip. I don't want to change the fader. I could have changed something in the input or the dynamics if I wanted to, but in this case it's the EQ and it's the high gain. Now then, I can have a crossfade, and I want that crossfade to be 1 second. I want a linear crossfade, but I could have had a sine or a circular or exponential. And I want it to be a relative change, because I might have changed the EQ, the high gain, a little bit during the show. So I want it to be a relative amount, and I want it to be -3. And there we go. That's it for the way up. So I'm pushing the fader up. As I get past +3, the EQ high gain will be cut by -3 dB. And then on the return, it's kind of the opposite. So when it goes fader below +3, I put the EQ of the high gain back to flat. So let me show you how to do that. So instead of above, this time it's below. It's channel 48. And it's below 3. And then this one is to flatten off the EQ. So again, it's a set control continuous. It's not a trigger strip. It's 3D's vocal. Double click. It's not fader, it's EQ, and it's EQ high gain. And in this case, I just want it to go back to 0, so I'm going to have absolute 0. Crossfade, I'm quite happy with linear. I can make that 1 second. And there we go. There's my little EQ cut as I go past the kind of safe zone. And then back to flat as I return into the safe zone.